Megan Jabori, lead course instructor at JD Advising. This video is a sample of our brand new, highly reviewed lectures that have helped countless students pass the bar exam and realize their dream of becoming lawyers. For more information, please visit jdadvising.com. You can also sign up below to get our bar exam essay guide on the highly tested topics completely free. Enjoy the video and don't forget to like and subscribe for more valuable free content.
Here we are going to read the fact pattern and then figure out the correct answer. This fact pattern states that a woman hired a driver to drive her across town to her sister's house. The driver negligently failed to pay attention to where he was going and drove in the opposite direction of the sister's house. By the time the driver realized his error, it was too late to drive the woman back home. The driver paid for the woman to stay in a hotel room for the night. While the woman was dining at the hotel room that evening, a man pickpocketed the woman's expensive pair of glasses out of her purse. The woman sued the driver for the value of the glasses. Will she prevail? Your notes on this fact pattern might be very simple, or maybe you do not even have any. Sometimes you won't have any notes because the fact pattern is pretty straightforward. So here we're going to go through the slow methodical method before we're even looking at the answer choices. So after your notes, we first have subject. The subject here is torts. Note that if you have trouble identifying the subject, you probably need to learn your outlines better because usually the subject should be pretty clear. Next, legal issue. To find the issue in this case, let's look at what the woman is suing for. It says she's suing the driver for the value of the glasses. It also states that the driver negligently failed to pay attention to where he was going. So in this case, she's probably going to sue him for negligence. She's not going to have a good intentional tort case because the driver didn't intend for anything to happen. He just negligently failed to pay attention to where he was going, and he drove in the opposite direction of where he should have been going. So the legal issue here would be, is the driver liable for negligence? Now, what's the legal rule for negligence? Remember, in a negligence case, you have to prove 4 elements: duty, breach, actual and proximate cause, and harm. So the woman is going to have to prove all 4 of these elements by a preponderance of the evidence in order to prevail in a negligence claim. So let's go through them in our analysis section. Duty. Did the driver have a duty to drop the woman off at her sister's house? Yes. Why? Normally you can drive wherever you want, and if you don't make it to your destination, then you probably aren't breaching a duty. In this case, though, the duty was created by contract. It says that the woman hired a driver to drive her across town to her sister's house. So therefore, it's created by contract. She's paying him to do it. Breach. Did the driver breach his duty when he went the wrong way and never made it to the sister's house? The answer is yes, he did breach his duty because he negligently failed to pay attention to where he's going, based on the facts. The facts specifically tell us that. Next, causation. Let's talk about actual causation first. Was the driver's breach of duty an actual cause of the woman's harm, or could the same harm have occurred anyway? Or would the same harm have occurred anyway? In this case, the driver's breach of duty was an actual cause of the woman's harm because this harm would not have occurred had he not breached his duty. If he went to the right place and he went to her sister's house, the woman never would have been at that hotel and she would not have been pickpocketed. So yes, the driver's breach of duty was an actual cause of the woman's harm. What about proximate cause? Is this a foreseeable result? A great way to tell if proximate cause is present is to pretend you're watching a movie and you see the breach occur. Ask yourself, what am I worried will happen? Here in our movie, we see the driver going in the wrong direction. What are we worried is going to happen? Well, we're worried about a couple things. Maybe that she's going to miss something important at her sister's house. Maybe that they'll get lost. Are we worried that property is going to be stolen? No, that's not really what we're worried about. We don't say, oh no, I really hope that she doesn't get pickpocketed. It's just not the harm that we're worried will occur based on somebody just accidentally going the wrong way. So while she can prove duty, breach, and actual cause, she's not going to be able to prove proximate cause. She will be able to prove harm because they were expensive glasses that were stolen. But because one of these elements is missing, proximate cause in particular, the woman will not prevail in a negligence claim. So that's the analysis. The conclusion is she's not going to prevail on a negligence claim because proximate cause is missing. And by the way, notice we haven't even looked at the answer choices yet. We tried to figure out what the answer was before even looking at the answer choices, and that's what we recommend you do in most cases if it's possible. That really helps you to dissect the analysis and wrap your head around it and not get tricked by some answer choices that might look good otherwise. So now what we want to do is find a conclusion that mirrors exactly what we just said. So the woman sued the driver for the value of the glasses. Will she prevail? Let's look at the no answer choices first because we don't think she's going to prevail. And then once we figure out what the answer choice is that we like, we're going to go back and make sure that the other ones still seem incorrect to us. Sometimes you will pick an answer that you think is correct, and you'll read the other answer choices, and you'll rethink your answer and change your selection. And that is perfectly fine. All that matters is that you ultimately pick the right answer. There is a difference between doing that and second-guessing yourself. Second-guessing occurs when you pick an answer choice, then change it just because another one looks good, but you don't have a real reason to change it. And if I asked you why you changed it, you would not be able to give me a good explanation based on legal reasoning. If you do go back and change your answer, make sure you are able to explain why you did it. Otherwise, you might just be getting tricked. This is why slowing down when you answer questions is so important. Okay, so C says, larceny is not a foreseeable result of the breach by the driver. That's exactly right. That's exactly what we said. Proximate cause is missing. It's not foreseeable that larceny would result from somebody who negligently failed to pay attention to where they're going. Okay, so C looks really good. D says no, because the act of larceny was committed by a third person, not the driver. This one does not look so good because a driver could be liable for the acts of others so long as they were foreseeable. The main issue here was that the harm wasn't foreseeable to begin with. So the driver's not going to be liable. A says yes because the driver negligently failed to pay attention to where he was going. Okay, so A established that he breached his duty, but it doesn't establish causing harm. So A doesn't go far enough. It doesn't look good. People are negligent all the time. They're texting while they're driving, they're not paying attention to where they're going, and they don't get sued. Your breach of duty still has to cause harm if you're going to successfully be sued in negligence. B says yes, so long as the woman was not negligent in failing to notice that the driver was going the wrong way. Some students look at this and they think, oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe she should have noticed that he's going the complete opposite direction. After all, she probably knows where her sister's house is, has probably been there. But let's assume that that's all true. Even if she was negligent, would this mean that she couldn't recover? No. Remember, on the bar exam, the default is pure comparative negligence. So even if she is negligent and failing to recognize that he's going the wrong way, she'll still recover for negligence if all the elements are met. Her damages will simply be reduced by her percentage of fault. So B is not a good answer because it basically is saying if she's negligent, she wouldn't recover at all, which is applying the old common law doctrine of contributory negligence, which is not the default on the bar exam. So again, C is the right answer for this question, which is exactly what we arrived at.